Knock, knock. Welcome, everyone, to the City of Citrus Heights Council meeting of December 10th. Calling the meeting to order. Portia, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Middleton,
Present.
Councilmember Nelson,
Present.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Vice Mayor Lopez Taff,
Here.
and Mayor Karpinski Costa.
Present. Thank you. Next item, please.
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. It is also live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, December 15th at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Next item, please.
Next item is approval of the agenda.
Move approval.
I'll second.
I heard Schaefer and Lopez Taff. Is that what you heard? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item.
Next item is special item number 4, selection of mayor and vice mayor.
And Mayor Karpinski Costa, Amy Van, City Clerk, I just briefly, for members of the public, just wanted to introduce this item. This item is an opportunity for the City Council to nominate and discuss the appointment of mayor and vice mayor. The mayor and vice mayor are appointed by and serve at the pleasure of the City Council. These seats are rotated on an annual basis in the month of December, and I will now turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you. So we rotate. So we basically rotate by when you're elected and how long you've been here. And it's been basically rotated since the beginning of cityhood, with a few exceptions. So at this, we'll entertain nominations.
Oh,
I'd like
Madam
to
Mayor,
nominate-
excuse me, sorry, we actually have one public comment on this item.
Oh, a public comment, okay.
I'd like to welcome to the podium Bill Shirley.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members, my name is Bill Shirley. I'm president of Chasen. And in speaking in behalf of Chasen, I first of all want to thank our District 2 City Councilwoman, Mary Jane Lopez Taff, for her support of Chasen, which is synonymous for Citrus Heights areas 7, 8, and 9. District 2 is comprised of 7, 8, and 9. And Mary Jane is available. She attends our monthly meetings and takes time to update our members' city, county, and state matters that concern us. She then takes the time to accept questions and concerns that our members may have. She supports our events, and I appreciate that I can call her and discuss city matters and local neighborhood concerns. She has earned the respect and support of our Chasen members. She is knowledgeable regarding city matters, and I should add, and a lot more. She is dignified and respectful of others. She listens, and we know she cares about our city and wants what is best for us. If you remember, she won only by a little over 100 votes. She has won over the other 50% who did not vote for her, including me. We are looking forward to further supporting her and looking forward to seeing what the city can accomplish under her leadership in the year 2026. So it's just a small token. Dave, you could probably reach better than I can to get the flowers up there.
We haven't voted yet.
Well, we're going to give her the flowers anyway for recognition of what she's done for us. Thank you.
So, can I make a comment? So, this is the way this is supposed to go right here. In years previous, it's been charge right up, throw out a couple of names and vote real fast. And without any discussion, and I'm delighted with this council that we're having this discussion and we're doing this in a very matter of fact and calculated way. So,
And we do, and Rancho Cordova does it our way, but Folsom does it by popularity, who they like. So
Yes.
they, do- yeah.
so with that, I'd like to nominate Mary Jane Lopez Taft for mayor.
Second.
Okay, nominated in second. I think we'll just say all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Portia Middleton,
I'll second.
and seconded by Kelsey Nelson. Do we need a roll call vote?
I don't know. Do we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, we now have a new mayor and vice mayor.
Thank you.
Are we changing chairs? Picture time? What is next? How's this go, Amy?
I think we're going to take a brief recess.
Brief recess?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for allowing us a brief recess. Next item, please.
Next item is public comment. Members of the public may address the city council during the meeting. We ask that you please fill out a speaker sheet and give it to the city clerk. When you're called upon to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the mayor has the discretion to adjust the allotted time. There's a countdown display that will flash red at the end of the allotted time. Consistent with the Brown Act, the council is prohibited from engaging in a discussion or taking action on any item not appearing on the agenda. And Madam Mayor, at this time, I have 2 speaker cards. I'd like to welcome to the podium first Ruth Fox.
Madam Lopez Taft and Vice Mayor, and council member, thank you so much. I wanted to speak to the fact of we were given a budget this year with the city council, and we were asked to be responsible for our budget of our funding that was received from city council. So I wanted to speak to the fact of what CHATS, areas 6 and 2, have done with our funds so far this year. First of all, we started off with National Night Out, and we contributed with bringing in food and serving to our residents as they came. Second of all is holiday time. We always go to our area elementary schools and choose from a family that they provide to us. We have 3 elementary schools. And so we chose one, or they gave us one family from each one, except for Grand Oaks, they gave us 2. So we had 4 families to choose from to bring for holiday time and to cheer their life up. With these families, we obtained their kids' favorite colors, their favorite items, their toys, things that they wanted, clothes, food, their favorite foods. So that's what our directors went out and purchased. We bought books. We bought haircuts. A little boy wanted a haircut from somebody other than his mom. So we said, that's a good choice. Let's do that. So we have favorite animals that we purchased. One being a swan. And so we found a swan so we could give it to him for Christmas. We have bought hoods and coats and clothes of all kinds, as well as we decided that instead of just giving food this year, we would give them a chance to go out to dinner. And so we bought gift cards for them to go out and take their family and eat out. And we thought, what an opportunity. If you're low income and you're tight on your budget, even us, sometimes we don't get to go out. But we thought, what a privilege. So we decided, let's go out and find some gift cards for them so they can go and eat out. Another area that we chose, not only were these 4 families, but we decided, we have Sylvan Middle School in our area over here. And so we thought, what can we do for them? Well, in talking to their vice principal, we found that they need gift cards as incentives. And so we went out and bought 30 gift cards. I'll be fast. And then Reach matched us. And we went ahead and they matched us and bought 30 more. So between the two of us, we took in 60 gift cards for them to use as incentives. Well, we didn't stop there either. We decided new teachers don't have all the resources. And if you're a brand new teacher, you oftentimes have to take from your own budget to buy supplies for your classroom so that you enhance their teaching. So that's what we did. We picked a new teacher from our 3 elementary schools and then went ahead and bought the things that they wanted from their wish lists of Amazon, all the way from books to headsets so that the kids could focus on STEM project, because we didn't realize that they don't all have headsets. So we tried to use our funds wisely. Not only did we have city funds, but we have generous residents that don't come because of health reasons, but they call me and they say, Ruth, we need to come, and you need to come by and pick up a check. So I drive over there, pick up a check, so that they will participate in our Christmas. But that's what we do with our funds in chats. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for that excellent report.
Next, we have a written public comment submitted by Alfred Sanchez. Sunday, December 21st, is National Homeless Persons Memorial Day. For the 7th year, we will be meeting at Adalberto's Restaurant on the corner of Greenback and Auburn Boulevard at 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Please contact me if you have any questions. Remembering those who died while homeless on our streets, Alfred Sanchez.
All right. Any other public comment?
No.
Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
All right, let's go ahead and start with Councilmember Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa. Give you your time back.
Pardon me?
We'll give you a little bit more time back.
Oh, well, it's been a while since we had our last council meeting. Is my mic on? Because it sounds like not. It is? Okay. So we've been I think all of us have been busy because I've seen you at a lot of the stuff I've gone to. I went to 2 Chip Chip Hooray events. As you know, the police department and our animal control services are offering free microchips to all the dogs in our city. So we had 2 drive-up events, and I went to both of them, sitting in the cold. So the second one was in front of Stone's. There's one more left in January. I don't have the date offhand, but I'm sure it'll come up at one of the reports. And so there's still an opportunity, and if you miss the open events, you can call Animal Services and make an appointment and come to the police department, and they will give your dog or cat a free microchip and offer licensing. So I did do both of those. I did do all the Monday with the mayor. I enjoy the Monday meetings. David, my usual David, he's in the hospital right now, so we're praying for his speedy recovery. He's usually there on Monday mornings, keep me company if nobody shows up, and he leaves if somebody does. So it's kind of nice to have David around. I went to the 50th anniversary of the Citrus Heights Women's Club, and I'm telling you, they do amazing things in our city, and they kind of go unsung heroes. We hear about some of the other nonprofit groups in our community, but this Women's Club is quite a powerful little group of ladies, and they accomplish quite a bit. So we went there and celebrated their anniversary. Roger Nilo was the speaker at the chamber lunch that I went to, and he gave us a rundown of some of the legislation that's been passed that affects our businesses, which was a lot. I went to the SOAR meeting. We had turkey bingo and turkey trivia. That was kind of fun. I signed up and did the League of Cities new laws webinar, new laws that affect cities. And the one that got me was the new, and maybe I was going to ask Ryan about this, are we going to have 2 hours of financial learning? Is that the way that's working?
I wasn't aware of that. I know there's 2 hours of ethics and other harassment training, but that's,
And I think they're adding start in January, and I don't know if it's for present electeds or future electeds, but I think they said it was a 2-hour financial savvy learning, so that we know financial stuff. Went to the teddy bear luncheon that's put on by Lakeview Village Ladies. They supply, it had to be a couple of hundred teddy bears to the police department and the fire district to help children who are, in the course of their work, if they have children who are traumatized, they give them a little bear to hang on to, and I think that's a cool project. They've been doing it for years. Of course, we had our tree lighting, our annual tree lighting. I think it was the best turnout we ever had for tree lighting. And, the Lord provided good weather, so it was a nice little event. All the mayors, before we weren't mayors anymore, we decided all go have a lunch. So we did lunch at Rancho Cordova. That was kind of fun. I got my Rancho Cordova gloves. And we had the holiday lunch for our employees, which was quite nice this year. I think you guys did a great job putting on the lunch. And I had a sewer meeting this morning. Only one item on there was an update on our Harvest Water project, which is we take recycled water that we do from the sewer, and we're shipping it to the farms in South Sacramento, the south part of the county. So there's some issues with that that's coming up next year. So we had a little discussion of those issues. And that's basically it. The mosquito hasn't met. There'll be a meeting next week, and I'll report on that after I go to it. And that's my report.
Thank you, Shana. Let's go with Councilmember Kelsey Nelson. What you been up to?
Thank you, Mayor. I will keep my remarks really short as much as possible. I might lose my voice during this meeting. Way back in November, on the 13th, I attended our STA meeting, our final one of the year. We went over survey results of the importance for railway to the airport. And then on the 3rd of December, I attended the Stones 21 Award honoring Sherry Merrick. And then I also attended the Teddy Bear Luncheon on the 14th at Lakeview Village, along with the tree lighting.
That was brief. Thank you. All right, Councilmember Schaefer.
On the 19th, I had the Capital Corridor Joint Powers Authority meeting where we talked about, fortunately, we are ridership-wise. This is a train that runs between Roseville and, say, San Jose, and we pretty much restored everything to full service from before COVID. So ridership is up. Everything's kind of back to normal on that train, and rates that have been reduced. So if you have not taken the train, I certainly recommend taking the train out of Roseville to go to San Francisco, to go to the Bay Area. It's really a pleasurable ride. So I attended the tree lighting with everyone. That was a great event. And then on the 8th, I had a SACOG meeting, and I actually did miss. I went to the Sherry Merrick 2021 award at Stones. That was great. So on the 8th, I had 2 meetings. I had a meeting in the morning with SACOG Policy and Innovation, where we talked about VMT, and according to the advocacy by Politico, the VMT laws are going to be that affect your mileage is going to be passed this year, and that'll be in addition to the gas tax. I think that's a whole nother story I probably shouldn't get into. Anyhow, and then at 4 o'clock, I had the SAC-RT board meeting, which is, we changed chairs, and we did, so now Bobby Singh Allen is chair and Pat Hume is vice chair. That was a pretty good meeting. And then on the 9th, which is yesterday, I had the city luncheon. It was really a great job. the city staff, thank you so much for putting on a great luncheon. That was awesome. And to finish up, I just want to wish everybody, we have Hanukkah starting on the 18th. Happy Hanukkah for those family members of mine that are Jewish. That's it. Thank you.
Can I interrupt 1 second? Would you tell the people about the Flex Ride? Because it was,
Oh, sure. Well, actually, okay, so
it's your thing.
I represent the city of Citrus Heights on the RT board, and we lost, the funding ran out for Smart Ride, and we replaced that with RT Flex. RT Flex is for people who have to sign up. You sign up, you qualify for it. Typically, you need a disability, but it is like an Uber-type service where you can call or book a ride on an app. It saved RT $7 million a year over the Smart Ride program, and when the mayor needed some medical care, she was concerned about, hey, how do I get there? And it's within the zone, and so she actually used Flex Ride. Again, this is something you have to pre-qualify for. You sign up for it ahead of time. Usually it takes a few days to get your all set up with that.
Over 65, you don't even need a disability if you're over 65.
Okay, if you're over 65, you don't need a disability, but it's a great program.
$2.50 for a ride. I thought that was great, because I could get to the doctor and then get back for $5.
Yeah, it's a great program, saved a ton of money.
Yeah, nice program.
That's great. Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Middleton.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's go all the way back to towards the end of November, where I delivered about 20 boxes to the Sayonara Center full of pre-made meals. They were like non-perishable items that my husband and my kids and I packed together, and we gave them to the folks in that area, because we know during this time, with our food closets being so short, we figured that was the best way for us to use the little bit of extra that we would have probably used on like a trip to Disney or something. And I went to a lot of the same events, so I won't repeat. A few of them I did have to miss because my son decided to give himself a concussion. The running joke in the house, and he doesn't watch these meetings anymore, is that he knocked the Sonic coins out of himself wrestling. I think it's funny. He doesn't. I spent a lot of time this holiday season actually going around and visiting our local businesses. So I stopped by Sweet Haven for cupcakes, Dark Sail Coffee House. We got some coffee from there. Good stuff, some really great treats. They were supposed to be gifts, but they were so delicious, I'll have to rebuy them this weekend. And I also went over to Diana Miller, and she did some pet portraits. She's a local photographer here right in Citrus Heights, and she did some pet portraits for our foster cat that we got out of the shelter from, what's that, Broad Street, Bradshaw, whatever it is. It's a hairless cat. It's like the only one I could find, and I was so excited. His name is Mr. Biggs. He's so cool. And we also had this really great meeting that was put together by Supervisor Bonnie Gore, and it's called the Capital Region Elected Women, or CREW. And we sat down, and it's a nonpartisan group where we talked about issues that women face being in politics and how we have to be able to navigate, and like tips and tricks for how to not lose our cool, right? And so that was really helpful to understand what other folks are going through and how it's really similar, and how we can still maintain, some integrity and some civility when we're on the dais, and you still get our point across. And sounds like, well, I wrote it down. It didn't look like a lot, but that was actually a lot of stuff I did.
I am so glad you went to that forum, because I wasn't able to, so I want to pick your brain later. So I also had many of the same activities that my colleagues also mentioned here. A few different ones that my colleagues did not attend. I had a few ribbon cuttings. Since I am on the chamber board, that is my pleasure to attend the ribbon cuttings of 2 grand reopenings in our community. The first one was on the 5th with Walmart. Walmart, if you have not been in there, they have reconfigured the entire store. And according to their own staff, they have upgraded all of their fashion items. So if you're of the persuasion, please check it out, because it is quite different and upgraded. So that was really nice, well attended event, albeit cold. And just this afternoon, I attended the grand reopening of Narenge. They added a deli portion to their store. So if you have not had an opportunity, they're in the same parking lot as Leatherby's. Everybody knows where Leatherby's is. And so please visit them. They have been around for about 5 years now. And so it was timely that they have a grand reopening with a brand new feature for their store. And that is it for me. Next item, please.
Next item is the consent calendar. Item 5 is approval of minutes. Item 6 is the annual AB 1600 development fee report. Item 7 is a resolution adopting the amended salary table. Item 8 is the submission of application for Tree City USA designation. And item 9 is the Sunrise Boulevard resurfacing project, final acceptance, and notice of completion.
Thank you, Danielle. Do we have any items that would like to be pulled? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
All right, I heard Schaefer and Karpinski Costa. Do we need a vote on consent items? All right. Is it roll call vote or voice vote?
Pleasure of the mayor.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing, item number 10, pro-housing designation renewal application and authorization to receive pro-housing incentive program grant fund. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution authorizing the application to and participation in the pro-housing designation program, and to adopt a resolution authorizing application for and receipt of pro-housing incentive program funds.
All right, everyone. So the way public hearing, and this is, I'm going to say this mainly for myself. The way public hearing items are, we will hear a presentation generally from staff or invited guests. And then we will open for public hearing if there are any speakers on the item. We will have comments from my colleagues here at the dais, and then we will vote on the item. Did I get that right, Ryan? All right, perfect. Let's start with the report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Allison Bermudez here with the Community Development Department and the Planning Division, representing tonight's item. As mentioned, this is your approval to adopt 2 resolutions for staff to submit an application to renew our pro-housing designation, and subsequently to file application to receive the pro-housing funds. And what is the pro-housing designation? This is a state program that recognizes jurisdictions for their efforts at streamlining housing projects, so related actions and utilizing our best practices in the approval and processing of housing applications. So for the City of Citrus Heights, we get awarded for the good work that we already do. Some examples that are in our application where we're rewarded are we allow residential uses in our commercial zones, specifically a number of housing units planned for a Sunrise Tomorrow project. We do ministerial reviews. That means staff review housing applications for units when there's 10 units or less, so eliminating that public hearing process on the smaller projects in hopes of expediting housing development. We collaborate with our service partners. We have regularly meetings with our water agencies, our utility provider, and other service providers on development applications in hopes of getting the best information to the application for the applicant for processing their application, as quickly as possible. And we are supportive of affordable housing projects. For example, the Sayonara redevelopment project that's underway in our partnership with Habitat for Humanity, and then our collaboration and support of the Auburn Oaks Congregate Care Facility that's being converted to senior permanent supportive housing for income-restricted seniors. So those are just some of the good work that we do and the examples that we have that are in support of receiving this pro-housing designation from the state. Key points of the application are This is one of the few times where the state recognizes us and rewards us for the work that we already do. Our application that we're submitting is proposing no new policies, no new regulations from what we do today. So we will be rewarded for the work that we're already doing. Rare instance for the state. We usually are having to change something or do something in order to be rewarded. It is an extensive application process. We started this several weeks ago by compiling the application. It's been available for the public through a public review process, been posted on our website. We've done outreach to the development community. If we receive any comments, they'll be included in the application. And then we have to have hearings on the item, which is tonight is part of that process. Then we will complete this application, submit it to HCD, which is Housing Community Development, a state agency, and they'll review it and hopefully renew our designation. As mentioned, we already are a pro-housing designated city. We were awarded that back in 2022, and they do last 3 years, so it's set to expire at the end of this year. What's the benefits of the designation? One key component is we do receive points on scoring of grant applications that we submit. There's several state grants that we apply for through the city, some infrastructure programs, affordable housing programs, all grant programs that we apply for. And being a designation, we do receive extra points on those applications. So it's a very important part of that process when some of those grants are so competitive. So that does help us in the scoring. And then the big part of it is, should we be rewarded the designation, we can apply for pro-housing funds, which is in the state's budget, and jurisdictions that have received the designation are awarded funds to be used for to advance housing. So that for the pro-housing incentive program, we would be eligible should our application be approved as submitted, would provide us $990,000 that we could use for eligible programs. Our first designation that we received back in 2022, we were awarded $960,000, and that was our contribution towards the Habitat for Humanity project on Sayonara. So those funds were put to a good use, and this award would, if we're approved as submitted, we would jump that up to $990,000. And eligible activities that we could use that on are housing rehabilitation projects and programs, utility infrastructure improvements, and other related initiatives. So tonight I'm asking you to approve both resolutions, one authorizing us to submit the application, and the follow-up resolution would be that should we receive the designation, then we can submit for the funds.
Thank you so much, Allison, for your report. Because this is a public hearing, we're going to open the public hearing. And Danielle, do we have any public comment for this item?
We have no requests.
Okay. Anyone change their mind and want to make a public comment? All right, I will close the public hearing. Council members, comments, questions for Allison and her team? Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor. I drove by the Sayonara Habitat for Humanity projects. I was delighted to see how well it's going. It's really going a lot faster than I really thought it was going to, and I can't tell you how proud I am of that project. It really is changing the whole face of that neighborhood. So that's my comment, and when we're ready, I'm ready to make a motion.
Any other comments? All right, Vice Mayor Middleton.
I think it's really important that we highlight the fact that it's not many cities, jurisdictions that are actually able to get this designation, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of preemptive planning, a lot of visioning that happens not just from staff, but from the council as well. We all work, together to make sure that we are being at the forefront and trying to anticipate all the things that are going to come down from the state and make sure that it's already kind of within our code and our processes so that we're able to capitalize and get, this huge amount of money, because it makes things like the Sayonara development happen. It makes, things like our senior conversion happen. It's things that we need in this community, but if we are not ready, and if Alice is not doing the hard work behind the scenes to make sure we are ready to take those steps and do the hard work up front, we would never have that opportunity. So once again, I have to say thank you, because since I've been on this council, that is something we've always been very proactive about, is where and how can we maximize housing.
Thank you so much for those comments. Any other comments? All right, it sounds like we're ready for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to move that we adopt Resolution 2025, a resolution of the City Council of City of Citrus Heights, California, authorizing application to the participation of the pro-housing designated program, and B, do we have to take these separately? Okay. Adopt a Resolution 2025, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights authorizing application for and receipt of the pro-housing incentive program funds.
Second.
All right, we
Second
have a
on both of
motion
those.
and a second,
Second and a second on both those motions.
and 2 seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, sounds like we have unanimous vote there. Okay, next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 11, discussion item of strategic goal related to mobile food vending. The recommendation is that the council review the information presented and provide input and feedback to staff on possible code amendments.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Casey Campanari, Community Development Director. Aside Allison Bermudez, our Senior Planner, taking this item tonight. This item stems from a strategic objective that was set back in March of 2025, and it really focuses on checking to make sure we're kind of on par with our neighbors and making sure that these regulations were related to certain uses are still working for us. So this is our opportunity to kind of dust it off and see what's working, what's not, and see if there's any changes that need to be made, or maybe things are working just fine. So today we are focused on food truck, or mobile food vending. This objective, as you'll note here, also mentions massage. That'll be happening at a later date, probably early 2026. Tonight, Allison's going to give you an overview of kind of what our regulations are now. We're going to give you an overview of some of the feedback we've heard. We're going to give you a little bit of options to see if there's options you want to explore to make changes as we move forward. You'll probably hear from brick and mortar. You'll probably hear from food truck with different perspectives. And so tonight, we're really hoping to get your direction on if any changes are needed and what changes you would like. So with that, I'll turn it over to Allison, and she'll walk you through more of the background.
Good evening, Council. Thanks, Casey. Just to kind of set the stage for tonight, as Casey mentioned, we're talking about mobile food vending and preparation for tonight's meeting. We did do an extensive outreach to give everybody an opportunity to be aware of this discussion. So I did outreach notification to all of our current food truck operators, brick and mortar restaurants. We sent emails to all the operators or owners of brick and mortar restaurants, notified the Chamber of Commerce, the Sunrise Marketplace, mobile food vendor organizations such as SACMOFO, and then we also notified the owner of the future food truck plaza coming up on Auburn Boulevard. And so to also clarify what we're discussing tonight, the type of vendors, these are mobile vendors, so these are stationary vendors who operate from a vehicle, from a cart, something that moves, but they stay in place in one location for more than 2 hours, and they're stationed on private property. So typically, we'll reference food trucks. Generally, there's some kind of motorized vehicle that travel around, but they may set up in a parking lot and stay there for a few hours every day or certain days of the week and serve the public from a single location more than 2 hours. What we're not discussing are vendors that operate from push carts or some other type of mobile device where they move around and they don't stop, except maybe to sell something to a vendor. They travel around, or they park stationary and they're on the sidewalk. That is regulated separately, and this would be a separate discussion. So tonight's are vendors that operate from private property. In general, I'll refer to them as in parking lots. So we have current regulations. Current mobile operators have to obtain a planning entitlement permit called a temporary use permit. This is an application through our department. They have to demonstrate that they hold a valid business license. They demonstrate that they have property owner approval to set up their mobile food vending in their location. And they must demonstrate that they have an approved health department permit, that their device that they vend from is approved by the health department as meeting all the safety criteria, as well as they have all this food handling criteria that necessary. And then they have to demonstrate that they can provide access to a public restroom. They submit that to us. We review the application. Should their permit be approved, they are valid for 180 days per year. This is something that's different than other jurisdictions around us, as we'll talk about later. So this issued temporary use permit will allow them to operate a single location for 180 days per year.
Consecutive days?
It doesn't matter. It would just be, so if we issued on January 1st, let's say June 30th would be 180 days, it would be valid for that time period, whether they operate 5 days a week or 8 days a week.
Okay.
Just for a little bit of context, this has been our regulations for quite a while. As we wrote this back in the day, the intent was trying to blend or thread the needle between allowing entrepreneurship and allowing temporary uses without a significant driving impact on our brick and mortar. So it was the attempt at that point to kind of thread that needle and allow some creativity, but also minimize the impact to the extent that we could. And so that's kind of what makes up the current regulations.
What we currently do not regulate is a separation requirement. So we don't have a standard that says they have to be so far apart from each other, or that they have to have a separation requirement distance from a brick and mortar restaurants. Those are two standards that our current process does not address. I won't go over this chart completely because it was in your packet, but just to show the public an example of Citrus Heights regulations versus we reviewed the County of Sacramento, Rancho Cordova, and Roseville, all of our closest neighbors who operate food vending. And some unique things to point out is that, yes, we do require, Citrus Heights does require this temporary use permit. The County of Sacramento and Rancho Cordova do not. And then Roseville does require a permit. So Roseville and Citrus Heights are the only two nearby jurisdictions that require the permit. Our permit is the only one that has a time limit. The other jurisdictions, they either don't require the permit, so there's no time limit. Roseville, they allow them to operate with no time limit. It would only, their permit would only expire should they cease operating for more than 60 days. So our permit does, as mentioned, does expire, is only valid for 180 days. No separation requirement, except Roseville does have a 200-foot separation, and that is not from a brick and mortar, that would be from another mobile food vendor. We all require the business license of some format. Restrooms and health permit are required. And then just to comment on the County of Sacramento, while they have started some outreach and updating their regulations, won't be until 2026 will they address this particular topic. Rancho Cordova just completed a pretty comprehensive review of their mobile vending ordinance. They removed the permit requirement. As mentioned, they don't require one. They used to have the temporary use permit like we do, but they've removed it. They are actually taking an approach where they're trying to encourage more food trucks, more synergy, more activity in their city, so they actually reduce their requirements. And so generally, I mean, we're all pretty consistent. There's just those couple key differences between us and the other regulations. And just looking ahead, and a reminder, we do have 4 licensed food trucks in the city that you see pretty regularly. Most of them, 3 of the 4 are on Greenback, the other was on Auburn. They all have approved temporary use permits and obtain and hold the proper licensing. Now, that's not to say that there aren't other ones around. Commonly, they'll pop up in the evening. On the way home, you might see one pop up, or on the weekends. They kind of float around, come and go. And I know code enforcement, we work very closely together, and they work really hard to attend to those vendors and notify them of the regulations and basically issue them a citation, have them shut down, and then come through the permit process with us. So it is something that, while we put all the best efforts forward to regulate food trucks, there are many that will just pop up on the weekend. And then exciting to note that in early spring, we'll have our first food truck plaza, kind of a new concept, kind of what you see in the picture here. And it's an area of space that's dedicated to food trucks. It's a permanent facility where food trucks will park. They'll operate, 7 days a week. They'll be open most of the day and into the evening. And this is a great place for people to come try a variety of different foods, have some community gathering space, and kind of a synergy approach to dining. So at Auburn and Twin Oaks, the Food Truck Plaza, you might see the work underway now, will be opening. So that will accommodate, I believe, 15 food trucks. So in all hopes, when that opens, we'll have 15 trucks up there to provide some energy to that part of town and some new food choices.
Will they have to have a TUP?
They do not have to have a TUP because the Food Truck Plaza already obtained a use permit.
They don't have the 180-day limit?
Correct.
All right.
So as kind of directed, as Casey mentioned, we wanted to provide you some options should there be some further regulations or further discussions you want to have, maybe on refining our current regulations. So we looked around and came up with some ideas. These are just some options if you want to consider, changing the regulations or updating them to some format. We've came up with 5 of them. Each of these really have their own pros and cons, a different approach to each one. And I'm able to talk you through those pros and cons of each one, but I don't want to do that unless it's something that interests you. So should you see one of these, we can talk further about that. Or obviously, we could leave things the way they are and make no change, or come up with some other configuration. So tonight, we're just here to discuss this, get some feedback, and then obviously, we would make any changes and then go through the whole ordinance update process, public review process, and do additional outreach should we want to make any changes. So tonight's just a discussion to get feedback. Mentioned I'm happy to provide you any pros and cons of these topics, should you be interested. Yes, we'll list each one real quick. So the first one, we could prohibit mobile food vending completely on private property and say you can't have a mobile food truck. Obviously, that would be the most restrictive. We could limit mobile food vending to one TUP per year. So currently, as I mentioned, they are able to operate 180 days at a single location. And so what our food trucks do is they will exercise their permit for 180 days wherever they're stationed. At the end of that period, they do apply for a new TUP for a different location. So they essentially do operate year-round, except that they're at 2 different locations. We could prohibit food trucks within commercial centers that contain a restaurant or a commercial kitchen. We could establish a required buffer between mobile food vendors and brick-and-mortar restaurants or commercial kitchens. We could allow mobile food vendors to operate only within the food truck plaza. So essentially, not allowing food trucks, just only allow them at the food truck plaza. And then, as I mentioned, we could remain status quo, keep an eye on it, get feedback as we go through, or some other configuration of these. So I'm happy to answer any other questions that you have. I believe there are some members of the audience that might want to address the topic.
All right. Yes, let's hear any public comment on this item.
Yes, Madam Mayor, so far I have one speaker. It's written public comment submitted by Kevin Miles. He is the co-owner of Arvita Cantina, located on Sunrise near Food Max. He also speaks on behalf of his business partner, Carlos Rodriguez. We apologize for not being able to attend in person, but we love this topic of discussion and wanted to share some thoughts from a restaurant owner perspective. Food trucks as a whole are not an issue for us as long as there are clear guidelines and policies that are put in place to ensure the operators have limitations. As a Mexican restaurant, it would not benefit us for a taco truck to be parked in our shopping center, of course, but we aren't saying that it should not be allowed in Citrus Heights as a whole. We welcome other businesses and love that people would want to be in our city, as it only promotes more residents to stay and spend their money in Citrus Heights. The hope would be for that food truck to acquire their clientele and look at making Citrus Heights their home for a brick and mortar business. The problem exists if that is never their intentions. They come to Citrus Heights but take their truck back to Elk Grove, for example, with zero intentions of making our city their home. Ultimately, not funneling any of that back into our city in which we pay taxes for our businesses. Forgive us as we are not educated on the current policies in place for the food trucks, but we all strive for fairness in life and business, and we believe that is the most important thing when considering how to move forward on this topic. We have seen a lot of growth in the past 6 years through our business and even more in Citrus Heights. We don't plan on going anywhere. We are committed to doing our part, and we just hope that everyone who conducts business in Citrus Heights is committed to that same mission.
All right, thank you. Comments from my colleagues? All right, Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor. So what does the city of Sacramento do? So you listed the county, you listed Rancho Cordova, Folsom.
Yeah, the city of Sacramento is really a unique animal. They have some very different regulations because they're so dense in the restaurant population. It's not even it can't even really compare it to ours. It was very challenging and such a different animal. They have a distance requirement from restaurants that have outdoor seating, outdoor dining, and in certain districts of the downtown. So it wasn't really, I didn't think, a fair comparison.
So my next question is, who's complaining?
I'll speak to that.
Sure.
Okay, so in my year of Monday with the mayor, for the few people who have come, I've had 2 people come specifically on this, and I didn't have that many people come. So one was the restaurant owner of Tres Hermanes. Do you know the name?
Tres Hermanos.
Tres Hermanos, and that's Carlos Ruiz. And outside of his door is a taco truck, and he's a Mexican restaurant. And the taco truck uses, the picture, he's down there by next to Harbor Freight, and the guy is out in front, and his restroom is the massage parlor down the other end of the block. So somehow he manages to use that as his restroom requirement. And then he puts a tent, a canopy, tables and chairs, so you look like your little outdoor dining area. And this poor Carlos says he had to lay off 2 of his employees because business got so bad. And they're there from dinner time. They're there. They're not there in the lunch as much as towards the dinner time. So it's stressful for him. I went to visit him when this got agendized. And then the other guy was a guy in Chasen area who just thinks it looks awful to go down to pass through the shopping center and see this big old ugly taco truck in front of a Mexican restaurant. So I am kind of favoring at number 3 that because we had the Battle of the Bands for the American Legion, and there was a really, really, really good food thing there that sold beef. He smoked it all night long, and it was so good. What if he went and parked outside Texas Roadhouse? So I think that, with that, he could. And I just think that we don't do our sit-down restaurants enough, give them enough credit to be able to bring in the people when someone's right out in front of him selling tacos, and he sells tacos inside. And his menu wasn't that different than the truck. So I think when they compete against a commercial restaurant that's already there, and I think the guy from Arvita said the same thing. He doesn't want a taco truck outside his restaurant. So I think that's, and we only have 4 of them that are licensed. And so it's kind of, anyway, those are the 2 complaints I got.
Okay. So the $326 we charge for a permit, what is that? What do we do with that money? Is that just general fund money? Do we have a justification for what we do with that funds, or?
Yes, that's an application fee, so that's the staff processing time to process the application. So as mentioned, we review the application, review its contents, make sure it's complete, provide letters to the application of their conditions of approval, and then monitor, that their compliance with that. So that is just the application permit processing.
That seems a little, well, it's a relative thing. If you get enough business, certainly it's not that much. But if I had to compare that, if I can go across Manzanita and go into the county, I don't have to pay anything. I know there's no regulation there at all. So there's obviously a reason that they're doing business here in the city, in our city. So for me, this isn't, it's not that, it doesn't appear to be such a simple thing. I'm not sure that it really it is a big issue for me, but I would probably lean towards number 3 as well, just to protect the businesses that are here. But again,
Well, they still could go to another commercial center that didn't have, we have lots of commercial centers with no sit-down restaurants,
Right.
which has been our main complaint.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of places they could go and actually be a benefit to that area if there's no restaurant there. But to be right in front of a restaurant selling the same type of food the restaurant sells is wrong.
An example, just for that, would be in that same area. So the food truck that's there now operates by the Tire Center, for a little bit further down than that restaurant. But there is another one across the street in Lowe's. So Lowe's does not have a restaurant.
Right.
So they would be one across the street.
That's a great place. You come out of Lowe's and you want to have a taco, you don't have to run across Greenback. That, to me, would be a better place for that truck than in front of Los Hermanos.
We have another question.
So I believe I saw in the presentation that they have to have permission from the property owner, correct? So
Correct.
if they're there and there's a restaurant, brick and mortar there, right? And that means somebody, the property owner, gave them permission to be there. So I really think that that's something that the restaurateur and the property owner should be talking about, because if the property owner gave permission to the truck to
But
be
the
there,
property owner is,
not my problem. We're not here to, get that
Well-
deep in the weeds. That's my opinion.
I think the right-
But I do want to know, I know that during COVID, we did have an outdoor dining ordinance, and I do not think that should apply to food trucks. So I think that should be something that we should be enforcing. I think by not having spaces where folks can sit down and have a full meal outside, it will keep, if you want to have a sit-down meal, you'll go inside that restaurant. But we should make sure those food trucks are, popping up shelter and tents and shade or whatever. So that's something, I'm willing to tweak it, but I don't want to get too far into it where I'm telling a property owner, yeah, you gave somebody permission, but you can't do that on your property. I think that's kind of getting us into some places where we don't want to really go.
So if I understand, so your suggestion would be to allow them, but not allow tables and chairs?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, any other feedback? It's good discussion.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you. I agree with Councilmember Middleton on the tables and chairs. I think that might push people into brick and mortar restaurants if they do want to sit down and eat. I'm also curious what it would look like to limit that like-kind food truck and restaurant. It does make sense to possibly limit that a little bit. Or can we not?
Yeah, let me speak to that. So there's not a lot of case law that speaks to that. I think we could have like an equal protection type claim that somebody, making that restrictive of a ban where you say, if there is a Mexican food restaurant, you can't have a taco food truck. I'd have to do some more research on that, but I would be concerned that that is too restrictive and could be an unconstitutional provision. But
Okay.
But I
Wouldn't
can
wanna do that.
certainly continue to research that, and right now you're having a discussion, so if that is part of what the council wants to do, I would like to research that before we come back to vote on it.
Okay, thank you. I'm also curious about the distance requirements as well. Maybe it is a 200-foot buffer between the restaurant and the food truck. I'd be open to something like that. I'd be curious, though, how many parking lots that precludes a mobile food vendor from entering. I don't want to limit business as much as possible, but I do hear the concerns of the restaurateurs that, have spoken so far.
To follow up on that, Kelsey, I think that maybe we could play around with that 200-foot buffer and say, because, Dr. Karpinski Costa brought the fact that, the guy's like way down half a block away from the restroom. Maybe we should make it so that they are closer to whatever restroom that they have agreed that, they're going to be using, right? Because that's part of their application, making sure that their food truck is within 200-300 feet of,
Of the bathroom.
yeah.
They currently do have to provide a restroom within 200 feet of their location. So going back to the one example on Greenback, the Lowe's, let's say for across the street where that food truck is, I believe would be within 200 feet of Tres Hermanos. So maybe there's some sort of
The Lowe's
distinguishing mark that we could come up with, like
You
if
said
it's
the Lowe's
across.
parking lot is 200 feet from Tres Hermanos? Mm-hmm. This guy was even closer then.
So we can come up with some sort of way to determine that 200 feet, maybe if it's across, 2 lanes or 4 lanes or whatever, it would kind of stop that measurement.
I think I don't think people should have to cross the street to use the bathroom.
No.
Right,
Yeah.
so it needs to definitely be within
Correct.
reasonable walking distance.
Yeah. I actually have a clarifying question for Ryan. And I know you are not currently the legal expert for food trucks. But because we're talking about privately held, albeit commercial properties, can we say as a city to a commercial property owner that this is our new regulation, and even if you wanted to approve it and it's not approved use, is that a legal opportunity?
Yes, you can. If they have like maybe an ongoing lease or something, that might be something we've got to work with. But yes, you can impose certain reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions like this on private property owners, even if they already have an ongoing relationship with somebody.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, one more thing, because as we're talking, I'm really getting some ideas. I don't know if we can, Ryan, I'm getting kind of touchy here, if we can, like, time limits, right? If you want, they have the 180 days, but if we say if you can only operate during, not operate during, but like you can only operate 4 hours out of the day. I don't know if that's,
Yeah, to me, that seems very reasonable.
okay.
A prohibition, something where you're a complete ban, I think is more problematic, but regulating hours seems to be.
But I have noticed that some of them really do, they operate till like 10 o'clock at night, and like they have string lights up, and I'm like, this is wild.
But even so, then a 4-hour limit would mean dinner time. So if you were there from 4 to 8, you just wipe out the guy's dinner, the sit-down restaurant's dinner crowd.
Yeah, I am really concerned that we're limiting the success of our brick and mortar, which obviously is invested in our community. And I think we need to acknowledge that, and whatever we do here should take that into account while allowing food trucks in our city. I'm really inclined to look at number 3 as well, because I think that says food trucks are allowed, but not within a competing area.
I would lean towards number 3, but I can tell you the personal story of Caravan Uzbek, who's over in Sylvan Corners, who started as a food truck, whose food truck was next to a commercial kitchen that they were working out of, next to their restaurant, and they moved from outside of our borders to inside of our borders. So they're,
I think that was the whole idea of having them in the first place.
Right,
Was to
exactly.
allow them to do that.
so I think that by using number 3 as it sits, it does limit folks who actually use the pathway as it's intended.
I think, though, in that, if I'm not mistaken, they're a very unique food offering as well. They weren't competing with a direct like kind, right? They're a very unique food offering in our city, so it may still fall within this ordinance or prohibition.
Is there a way to carve out an exception for someone who plans to have a brick and mortar right next to their, in other words, you're setting up your truck as the beginning of your brick and mortar offering? Is there a way to word it so that,
Like while it's under construction,
Yeah.
you mean?
That would be,
is that,
Yeah,
that's
construction
a
would
good
be,
carve-out.
we are setting up
that would be.
actual shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like carve out that while you're under active construction, you can have a food truck during that time period?
yeah, so that, in other words, you got a food truck while your restaurant is getting ready for you.
I don't see a reason why we couldn't do that.
That's a
I
good
like that idea,
compromise.
too. It's
Yeah,
good.
I
It
think that's a great
encourages them to
compromise.
create a brick and mortar.
Does that sound like enough direction?
I just wanted to clarify a couple of things, what I'm hearing from the council on the discussion. I think some good dialogue going on around this topic, and it is a tricky topic. I'm hearing further exploration in the ordinance around item 3 and also item 4, potentially, looking at some options. We could bring some alternate language to you on those two topics. And then I'm also hearing this carve out potentially, like if you have a TUP and you're going to have a brick and mortar restaurant that's under construction, you can prove that with some evidence of a lease or something like that, that there could be an extension on that TUP. Also hearing, like this buffer exploration. So it seems like that's kind of the area that the council's talking through. And then this notion of outdoor seating associated with trucks.
That's not even in our current ordinance, they just do it.
No, it's not, but I'd say that, we could look at that in a couple of different ways too. I mean, one could be if it's if the council ultimately lands on a place where you still want to allow food trucks in a plaza, in a shopping center where there's a restaurant, well, then maybe there's no seating there. If it's in an area that's kind of a food desert, maybe it's an allowance. There could be a further granular look at those kind of things that we could kind of come and bring the council some options on. The other thing I heard you talk to City Attorney Jones about is the exploration of this light kind of food, and if there's any opportunity to make a distinction there, relative to a different offering within the same area.
The 4 currently licensed are all serving Mexican food, right? Is that the one, the
Yeah.
4 that you have currently licensed are all, they're all the same? So it's not like one selling submarine sandwiches and one selling tacos?
Yeah, typically food trucks tend to lean towards one type of cuisine or another. I mean, when we have our Stars and Stripes events, for instance, there's a lot of different food offerings. Some are, burgers,
Right.
some are hot chicken.
This doesn't regulate those trucks, right, that are lined up along the street for our events?
No, those are special event trucks. And then similarly on the Food Truck Plaza. The Food Truck Plaza, too, would have, like, I'm sure, outdoor seating options. It's a plaza. It's a sense of place, a gathering space. I think that unless Allison and Casey feel that we need further direction, what I'm hearing is 3 for this light kind discussion, and then maybe some granular detail on outdoor seating. Do you feel that we need any further dialogue on this?
Oops, sorry. No, I think we can work with that and bring something forward based on that feedback.
And the 4 that are licensed now, where are they at? You have the one on Greenback that parks at Los Hermanos. Where are the other 3?
There's 3 on Greenback and 1 at Auburn. They're all in different locations because they're 180 days expired, so.
Were they all, where there was a restaurant already there?
The new, one located at the new center where there is the one restaurant, Greenback and Mariposa. There's one in that center, one at the Lowe's, one, where's the other one?
That's okay.
But they're all in, the areas that are heavily trafficked with the most traffic, so along Greenback, and then Auburn and Greenback.
So what do they do the rest of the year? They go home and sit for 6 months and come back and do another TUP? Is that the plan?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention, like item 2, You know, right now, they're limited to 180 days in a single location. So they would get their permit, their temporary use permit will allow them to operate for 180-day, or 6-month period, the hours that they choose. And then that permit, they have to get a new permit then for a new location for the other 6 months. Option 2 is one way where you could only limit them, they would truly be temporary. If they were only going to allow them to operate for 6 months a year, they couldn't get a second TUP for a different location.
Well, that's-
That would force them to really be temporary and not a permanent
That
location.
basically puts them out of business.
They could go to another, as Councilmember Schaefer said, could go to Sacramento County or another location.
My additional question, since this information was widely distributed, what other feedback did we get from other entities, whether it be our chamber or the other restaurant owners that you received directly?
I haven't received any direct comments based upon the notifications. I believe Casey has talked to the Sunrise Marketplace and the Chamber, and if I'm not mistaken, they wanted to see what kind of regulations were going to come out of this discussion, and then take it to their respective parties and
Yeah, I
comment on
think
that.
they recognize it's a tough issue, and I think they were looking to kind of weigh in when they had a little bit more direction on where we were headed.
All right, it looks like we've got some starter direction here, and we'll keep listening out for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's get some more feedback next time, too. That helps. If we get some more restaurant owner feedback, especially along the big corridors.
Yeah, we did reach out to everyone, restaurant in the city, so,
They didn't respond, they didn't respond.
Like the vacant property owners.
All right, next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar item number 12, animal licensing and microchipping options for potential amendment to municipal code. The recommendation is for the council to review the information presented and then provide staff with input and feedback on possible code amendments.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Alex Turcott, your Chief of Police. Tonight, I am joined by Police Services Manager Tiffany Campbell, who, in addition to running our records and data compliance and keeping us, the wheels of justice rolling with all our information at the PD, is also our in-house expert on all things animal control. And we'll be presenting some options for you for ordinance amendments tonight. With that, Tiffany?
Thank you. Good evening, council. This presentation meets a city council strategic objective and is in alignment with the city strategic goal to preserve and enhance public safety. Council directed staff to evaluate amending the current municipal code as needed to follow best practices related to a mandatory licensing and microchipping ordinance for all pets in the city of Citrus Heights, and to present options to the city council for potential amendment to the current animal license ordinance. Tonight I'll be covering our current ordinance, state law, and best recommended practices, and the background and analysis pertaining to microchipping and pet licensing. We will review the fiscal impacts and the 4 amendment options for licensing and microchipping. At the end of the presentation, and after any questions or discussion, we will be seeking council direction on which option is preferred. Our current Citrus Heights Ordinance 8-90 for unlicensed dogs and cats mandates licensing for dogs and cats over 4 months old and requires a rabies vaccination pursuant to state law. Our formal ordinance language is listed before you on the left, and on the right, I pulled out the main requirement, which is license required for dogs and cats over 4 months. With our current ordinance in place, Citrus Heights clearly has solid roots in the licensing arena. We are hitting the target, we are compliant with the mandated laws noted above, and we are currently offering the items noted as best practices. Pet licensing provides an official ID linking pets to owners, improving reunification outcomes, and microchipping is an added layer in support of reunification. Moving forward to the background and analysis, staff researched and compared over 20 licensing and microchipping ordinance throughout Sacramento County and surrounding areas. We found the Citrus Heights licensing ordinance consistent with other cities and aligns with best practice industry standards. Some interesting outcomes from some of our neighboring agencies include Placer County, who only mandates licenses for dogs and not cats, Rancho Cordova, who offers free licenses, free microchips, and free vaccinations for cats and dogs currently, and Elk Grove has a mandatory microchipping requirement to obtain a pet license, and they offer a $50 annual opt-out fee for those pet owners who do not wish to have their animal chipped. The ultimate goal is to reunite stray pets to their owners. And after the staff report was published, 2 questions were presented. And the first question was, does licensing a pet notify police, fire, or other first responders? And could the notes about having a pet be added so responders know that animals are in the home during an emergency? That answer is technically no. Our police, fire, and licensing systems are not all connected, so there is no automatic notification. Because of that, a physical sticker or a placard remains the most effective way to alert first responders. And even tonight, discussing with our fire colleagues, they are looking when they go into a home for who is in the home and if there are any animals. That is part of something that is normally
Not to
part of
interrupt your
their-
presentation, but I told you, do you think we could get some of those from the fire department and maybe have them for people?
Interesting. I'll cover that in just a moment, but the fire department doesn't actually offer those placards.
Oh, I thought they did.
What I'm saying is that they, in their day-to-day training, when they are responding, especially in a critical incident, they're always thinking who is in the home. And so many folks have pets that they're making sure that they're getting the people first and then the pets. But to speak to that specifically, they don't have or offer a sticker or a placard as well. So
Why don't you design one and I'll buy them?
So coming up next, thank you. We'll talk about that in the options. I appreciate that. Moving forward, the second question was, does the city provide pet notification cards? And could they be included as a low-cost item in the licensing package? And so currently, we do not provide notification placards, and I also believe they're called window slicks or something of that nature, but it is a low-cost item. And however, if directed, we could research the costs associated and report back to council. So again, that would be providing that placard when someone licensed their animal.
Great.
And moving on, here are the 4 amendment options, and we will be seeking council direction. Option 1 is to maintain the current ordinance and requires no amendment. We would continue to license dogs and cats with no fiscal impact. We would continue to offer free microchips by appointment, and we would continue to provide and seek donated vouchers for the rabies vaccinations. That's option 1. Option 2 would be to mandate microchipping for dogs and cats as a requirement to license issuance. Option 2 would require an amendment to mandate the microchipping for dogs and cats. And mandating microchips does not represent a direct fiscal impact to the city. Although not required now, microchipping is offered for free due to a generous donation from council member Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa. It is unknown if citizens would choose to have their animals chipped by our animal services team. However, the current donation is sufficient to serve approximately 1,000 animals. So based on our current rate of microchipping, we expect the existing chips to last through fiscal year 29-30. Moving on to option 3. Option 3 is free licensing for puppies for the first year with a rabies certificate. Option 3 is specific to puppies and would provide the free first-year licensing for puppies with a valid rabies certificate. The fiscal impact is unknown because reports do not distinguish licenses by age. The cost of each license in this category would be $35 per puppy. This option may encourage early license compliance for puppy owners, and we would waive the license fee for the first year, and again, a rabies certificate would be required. So option 3 is amendment for puppy. Option 4 is for free licensing for all unlicensed dogs and cats for the first-time licenses for 1 year. This option could result in a possible fiscal impact of $21,000 at our current rate of licensing. Over the past 5 years, the city has issued, on average, 1,600 licenses for new and renewed licenses. So in those two categories combined. And currently, using a current statistic or data point, the city has 1,274 active pet licenses on record, which equates to 139 for cats and 1,135 licenses for dogs. At this point, I'd be glad to pause and ask council if they have any questions or comments.
I do have a question.
Yeah, please.
Pardon me, I had to step out for a moment, so I don't know if you covered this. I heard you talk about the window clings. But other than the window cling, does PD and FD have the information from the licenses? So when they arrive to a home, it says somewhere in the data?
I'd be glad to cover that again.
Okay.
My answer was no, and the reason is because our police, fire, and licensing systems are not all connected. So there's no automatic notification. We all use different software programs. And so the other part you may have not heard in your absence was that in speaking with our colleagues at the fire department, it is in their training to always consider, whether it's police or fire, if there is homeowners or pets in that home.
Of course. Thank you so much for repeating that.
Oh, of course.
Question? Could I have a question?
Any other questions or
I have
comments?
questions.
It sounded like Tim had his hand up first.
Oh, okay. So I'm just curious, how often when you pick up a stray animal and we have identified that animal belongs in Citrus Heights? I mean, I'm sure there's quite a lot of animals that we come by that have strayed into our city from other communities. So the question is, how many of those animals that are we finding in, I don't know, percentage, probably don't know what the number is right off your top of your head, but I'd like to know what are the barriers to getting an animal licensed? And if we offered free licensing, is that an effective relief of whatever barrier there is? Or is it just a matter of people just don't think if they get an animal and they don't think about taking it down? Do you have to bring it in to get a license? Because it's something you can license online? Or how do you, I'm just curious, if people aren't licensing their animals, why not?
I think I recorded 4 questions, so I would be glad to answer them all.
Sure.
And please remind me if I missed something. I think one of the main questions you were asking is, what are the barriers and why are people not licensing their pets? And how are folks able to license their pets? Those were the 2 main topics, and then I'll cover the stat if you would like. I believe that the barriers are just the fact. Thank you, sir. This was going to be my PSA when we were done, but since you asked in advance, and I appreciate the questions. First, let's take this. How do folks license and chip their pets? We make it as simple as possible for anybody in Citrus Heights. Right now, in this moment, anybody out there in the community that's not licensed could use their phone at their television and click that QR code and start the process right from their couch. We have licensing available on both the PD website, the city website. They can do it online. They can use a QR code. They can even do it by paper, by an application. They can call the department. They can come to and license their pet inside the police department, at City Hall, or at the Bradshaw Shelter. We have multiple ways to do it. So that I'm proud about for our city. Why folks choose not to license, I believe, just as a pet lover and a pet owner, folks at times have to make the decision between, in their budget, with what's important to them. Folks also don't tend to see the need for this because they don't believe their animal will get out. And what we find with responsible pet owners is generally they don't. So what we find is that it's the stray animal population. Speaking specifically about your stat, when a Citrus Heights stray animal is located by a Citrus Heights Animal Services officer, that animal is scanned immediately for the chip and returned in the field if we have the information. And to tackle the numbers is a much bigger conversation, but I would be glad to touch on it now if you would like that answer. 18 animals in Citrus Heights were checked for chips and returned. The rest did not have a chip. And that number is for our Citrus Heights Animal Services officers. And I can look at the slide, it was about 215 animals that Citrus Heights officers checked, and 203, off the top of my head, that our citizens took on their own down to the shelter. They may or may not have checked. I believe your next question would be, are they checked when they get to the shelter? Absolutely, and within 24 hours, they try to make those phone calls back if they had any chips. But the stats show and the data proves that the animals that are going to the shelter are not licensed or chipped. So I hope
That helps.
I believe I answered all your
Thank
questions.
you, yes.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Any other comments? Yes.
I have questions. So currently, when we license a pet, how long is that license good for? Or are there other options?
Oh, yes, you can license your pet for 1, 2, 3, or 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. The license is valid for as long as the rabies certificate is valid.
Okay.
Those match together.
So if you get your rabies shot in year 1, but you don't license them till year 2, and you get a 3-year license, so what happens in the year your rabies is due, but your license isn't?
Your license is not valid if your rabies certificate is expired. So that pet owner would have to obtain a new rabies
Do you
certificate.
notify them that, hey, your rabies expired, even though your license is still good?
Yes, but traditionally, those things go hand in hand. So a pet owner would come with a 1-year rabies certificate, and therefore they would be buying a 1-year license. They generally follow suit with one another.
Okay, so on the graphic you had with the licenses free for the first year, this last number 4, how
Yes.
much of that 9,000, 9,600 to 21,000 do we get, or do we have to pay some, because we used to send our licenses to Texas, right? That's where we used to send our money.
Yes, absolutely, I can answer that. We used to utilize Pet Data, and Pet Data had a service fee. Currently, we use the Chameleon software system that is in line with Bradshaw, and for each license that a Citrus Heights resident pays for, we receive a dollar-for-dollar credit, and all that money comes back to the city in the form of a credit.
Good, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just to start, this first year free for puppies. So this would be, a puppy gets his first rabies shot when he's 16 weeks old generally, 16 weeks. Because they're not immune, they're incompetent because of mom's vaccinated, they inherit mom's immunity, so we don't do them till 16 weeks. So they would we'd work with our local veterinarians to say, hey, when you give the rabies shot, tell them they get, this is if we had this, free licensing. So then that rabies shot, the first shot you ever get is only good 1 year. Even if you're 10 years old, it's only good 1 year, the first time. So he comes back a year later, he gets a 3-year shot. The rabies is good for 3 years. So it wouldn't really harm us to do a first-year free licensing for puppies. It doesn't really cost us anything since most likely puppies aren't going to get licensed anyway because people say, hey, I'll wait till I neuter him when the license is cheaper because we charge less for altered animals, right? So if you're not going to alter them until they're 6, 7 months old, you're not going to probably want to license them until they're altered. So they're not licensed anyway.
That is a scenario, yes.
So generally speaking, logically, it's easier to say free to a puppy because that way they don't have to make a decision on licensing the puppy until they're a year old, or at least a year, 4 months.
Sure. That is a
Then they're in the
scenario.
system. Then they're in the system and they're microchipped and they're in the system. So that's my comment on number 3. I think 3 is a good idea.
All right, any other comments, questions? I have a question. So what problem are we trying to solve? Because I didn't hear anywhere that we had a problem we were trying to solve with the current ordinance.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I think this was an exploratory issue that was presented by council, part of the issue, and I think Dr. Jaina captured part of it. The numbers reflect that not a lot of our animals in citrus heights are being licensed and thereby not being chipped. I think the number was 1,200. I mean, with a population over 80,000, assuming there's a lot more pets than we're seeing licensed. And so the idea would be, how could we lower the barrier of entry to licensing? How could we get more people on the record? How could we get more animals vaccinated so we don't spread disease, things like that? And then honestly, from a reunification standpoint, if microchips come along with that piece, when we find an animal, we'd much rather get it back to its owner. Even from a hearts and minds standpoint, we want the pet to get back to their family, but then also too, just from a pragmatic standpoint, the faster we can reunify the animal, the better it is for the member of the public and also for the animal control folks who don't have to go all the way down to Bradshaw. And then there's a cost to the city for sheltering as well. So I think the idea here was to ensure we were meeting best practice, but then also what else could we do to encourage that population of licensing to grow and thereby increase reunifications of the animals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, with all our conversation completed, what is your pleasure?
On this one, I think we're just looking for direction, so however, we can return with an actionable item in the future as well. But
I heard a strong leaning toward number 3.
I agree with that.
So and it sounds like we have consensus. So I think 3 might be the direction we're wanting to give you.
And just a quick question, just so we have clarification and make sure we're hitting all the points that council wants. So with 3, that is free licensing for puppies, and Dr. Jaina makes a good point for that. And those puppies will be microchipped. Just to ensure for council's pleasure, is mandating microchip something that council would like to move forward with in addition to the ordinance, or would we like to just start with adding puppies? Because currently we don't mandate microchips, we offer microchips, but there isn't a violation for not having a microchip. And that's perfectly fine. I just want to make sure that council is aware as we go to amend. If that is a requirement you'd like to add, you might want to pick that option as well.
I forgot we could do multiple choice and like multiple options.
Yes, ma'am.
But I do think mandating microchipping it will be effective in trying to get those
Especially
numbers
if
up.
it's free.
Right, if it's free,
But it's not
like, what's
always,
your excuse?
it's not always given by us. So so I just examples from my years and years and years of experience. So a little tiny puppy, little Lhasa Apso puppy, okay, comes to the veterinarian. When he's 4 months old, you look at him and you say, he's so tiny, we're going to put this big chip in him. And so we said, well, we'll wait till he's spayed and we'll snootered or spayed till they're knocked out, and we'll chip him while he's under anesthesia. Okay, so we wait on that, right? And so the chipping cost is $40. So if they come to us, we do it for free, but they don't always get it for free. If it's mandated, the veterinarian may say, well, your city mandates it. So I don't know that people will want to, I think that's burdensome for those who don't expect to have to pay for it when they are told they have to. So I'd like to just keep offering it for free.
Okay.
And that's why I offered to buy them, because I just think it's a very important thing and that people shouldn't have to make the decision of whether or not their pet is reunited with them based on the cost of what my fellow veterinarians are charging for microchipping, which I think is high.
All right, it sounds like we have some additional information and direction. Does that sound?
We can always mandate it if people opt out, but I think that to give it to them free is no excuse not to have it done.
So just for clarity, so we can return the ordinance that council has a consensus on, what I'm hearing is currently at this time, we don't want to move forward with mandating a microchip, but we would like to continue the service delivery of offering free microchips. So what I'm hearing for consensus for return is the same ordinance, but we'll try option 3 for now, and then we'll see how that goes,
And the microchips, you said, is good till 2028, 29?
based on our current level. But if we succeed in getting everybody microchipped, we'll be hitting
buy
up
some more.
our donors for more.
Then I'll get some more.
Okay.
All right, we want it to be a successful
I'll put it in
program.
my will, that for as long as you need microchips, you get microchips.
Sounds good. So, Madam Mayor, just confirming that's the consensus on council is just 3 only, and we'll return with that?
3, and just strongly, as we're promoting 3, also reminding folks that, hey, microchipping is free, go to the events, right? Just make sure we continue to push that, because I still feel like there's no reason why.
Well, licensing gets them home as well, because if you're, but those little tags, when you renew your license, your dog lost his tags years ago, so there ought to be an option of replenishing the new tag. Maybe.
There is an option for that as well.
Is there?
Yes, and then just to be clear again for council, currently, your city animal services teams offers microchipping for free by appointment now. And so we still understand that that's what you would like to continue.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes, it sounds, for clarity's sake, that we want to maintain what we have and add number 3.
Sounds great.
And
Thank
when
you.
we open our building, on Old Auburn Road, it's going to be easier to, maintain the system of flowing appointments and stuff there. So,
We hope to have flowing appointments because that would help hit more folks getting microchip for sure. So,
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is Department Report, item number 13, review 2025 events calendar, evaluate historical and new community events. Department is General Services.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and council members. Regina Cave, your General Services Director. I'm proud to be able to be here tonight, kind of closing out our year, successful year on a lot of events that we've had. So the city does host various signature community events throughout this year. Most of the city's larger community events are organized by General Services. However, Economic Development, Community Engagement, and the Police Department also host events as well. And as part of our strategic goal identified in March, we were to review the events from this calendar year, evaluate historical, and look at new event options. So looking back at 2025, we had about 12 city-hosted events, meaning my team, my staff, police department, economic development, we organized, hosted, put these events on. So we started off, we had 2 annual chip-in days. We had our event in April, which was during the week, and this has traditionally been either something held on or around Earth Day. And council may recall before COVID, the region used to actually have a very well-organized Creek Week. And this was put on by the Sacramento Area Creeks Council and Altaturas Group. But since then, it's been less regionally organized and more put on the communities to come up with something for themselves. And so we have started doing our annual Chip-In Day in April. And again, sometimes we do it during the week. We've also offered some unofficial organized creek cleanups on weekends as well. And then we also have one in October. This is a very well-turned-out event. We get a lot of donations from different contractors. We have pumpkins that are gifted to us, along with gift cards, and we have raffle prizes for all of our participants. We also have pizza that is donated by one of our contractors through Public Services, and so it's a very well-attended event. We have our annual Tools of the Trade event. This was held in May. I believe our inaugural event started in 2022 as our Public Works Showcase, and this was really to help highlight all things of Public Works and to try to educate the community and hopefully get some interest from our students here within Citrus Heights interested in Public Works. There's so many different facets of Public Works that we'd like to see them turn up and talk about some career opportunities. And so that's our event that we hold in May, and we hold it just down the street over here at Van Maren Park. Of course, we have our big day of service in May, and this is another regional event, efforts through Fair Oaks, Orangevale, and now in Citrus Heights, primarily organized initially by the Rotary, and a lot of other groups have joined in. We started last year participating in this and collaborating with neighborhood groups. A lot of the neighborhood groups came out and did some projects, also with various Citrus Heights schools and the Citrus Heights Chamber. And you may have seen around town, Executive Director Sherry Merrick and her team were putting chalk pictures and inspirational words all over the community that day. Of course, we have our annual City Scoop series. This is a wonderful series that Economic Development and Community Engagement Director Huber started 3 years ago. We've now finished 3 full years, so 9 events, very well attended at each event, regardless of, actually, I think we had 8. One year we had to cancel one because it was about 110 degrees. But a very well attended event, each one of them. It allows for opportunities to engage with the community, residents in their neighborhoods. They come to get, so to speak, the scoop on what's going on in the city, but also what's going on in their respective neighborhoods. And then we have our annual Stars and Stripes event. This event has concluded 4 years now, 3 years, 23, 24, and 25. And this essentially took the place of what we used to have as our Red, White, and Blue Parade. We had the Red, White, and Blue Parade up until about 2018, and then that event became retired due to low turnout, low involvement from a lot of the groups that used to have or participate in our parades. And so this was an effort to bring some Red, White, and Blue pride back to Citrus Heights and kind of refresh and see how we can get the community back together again. We've had quite a few thousand people attend this event year over year. It's grown pretty significantly, and again, very well attended. And then for 2025, we introduced a new event this year. This was kind of a test, and we did it here in September, again over at Van Maren Park, our Citrus Nights event. This was a concert and a food truck event, which essentially took the place for this year for our Sunday Fun Day. As you know, Sunday Fun Day was put on pause in order to support Sunrise Recreation and Park District's big Jubilee event that they had just a few weeks later. And so it was another very well-attended event. According to our Placer AI data, we had about 750 folks that attended this event. I would consider that to be pretty successful, being that it's our first event, and it had also rained earlier that day. And so that may have dampened, some potential attendees from coming.
Dampened?
Yeah, dampened. And then, of course, the annual Trunk or Treat, and this is put on by the Citrus Heights Police Department and PAL, the Police Activities League. Another very well-attended event for anybody who's ever gone before. If you happen to be driving through the cars and the kids walking with their costumes, it's just a constant flow for hours. And I've heard year over year they continue to buy out all the candy over at Sam's Club because there's just so much volume of people constantly coming throughout that night. I think they had estimated somewhere close to 2,000 if you look at the size of that property and how many hours of flow of activity over there. It's pretty high numbers. And then, of course, we had our annual State of the City in November. This is an annual opportunity for the residents of our community and businesses to come out and listen to all the great accomplishments that we've had during the year and throughout the year, hitting the mark on a lot of the community and council's strategic goals and priorities. And then we also partner with the Citrus Heights Chamber for a reception before the event, which helps to highlight a lot of the local eateries here in Citrus Heights. And then, of course, we just concluded our recent annual tree lighting last week. We have a picture here of City Manager Ash Feeney along with our Purple Pageant participants. They are one of the many vendors that we have that provide some services here in our Santa's Workshop. They do all of our face painting. We've also partnered with the Rotary, and they gave out popcorn. The Chamber was there to make ornaments. We had Republic Services there providing some activities and also a coloring table. It's a very well-attended event. We estimated somewhere around 1,200 attendees. This is based upon the total number of cookies we had purchased and handed out, as well as the volume of hot cocoa and cider that was given out, and it pretty much took all of our supply for that night, which is very successful. Some other notable events throughout the year that we did not necessarily host, but we did participate in. And again, this is just notable. This is not all-inclusive, as we do have a lot of events here in the community throughout the year. But the Reach Community Dinner that is held in March, that has been a priority of the council, to where the event center has been offered to host that event, and that event is open to the community. The Citrus Heights Event Center ribbon cutting, we held that in April as part of our rebranding, which used to be the community center. We had the Volunteer Appreciation Week, followed by a reception that was held here at City Hall, and that again was organized by Economic Development and Community Engagement Department. There was the Citrus Heights Yoga Fest in May, and that was offered to the community through a grant from the community support. And then, of course, National Night Out in August. That is not only a national event, but here in Citrus Heights, our Citrus Heights Police Department do it well and organize it very well with all the neighborhood groups, the Neighborhood Watch, and the neighborhood areas to maximize participation here in the community. And it's kind of an all-hands-on deck between council and staff and all the wonderful officers and men and women over at the police department. So before you would like to consider an event retirement, so to speak. So I mentioned that we paused Sunday Fun Day this past year in order to support Sunrise Recreation and Park District's Jubilee. Historically, Sunday Fun Day has been organized heavily by the city in cooperation or collaboration with the Park District, but the funding for the most part has fallen on the city. We had about 1,600 attendees, and this is again according to Placer AI data that we have for 2024's event. We spent about $36,000 total in expenditures, again for about 1,600 people. Now that does not take into account, we did have donations. We do, our staff do work very hard at getting sponsorships, and so we were able to decrease that total along with the booth registrations down to about 23,000. So we did fairly well. However, we look at the attendance over the years, and it is, something to consider that we haven't had that many folks attending. And those that have attended, when we looked at some of those numbers and some of the data, a lot of them do come from outside of Citrus Heights. And so trying to see how we can focus more of our efforts on our events to, support our Citrus Heights residents as much as possible. And that event typically is including not only booths, we've got businesses. During election season, we have a lot of candidates that show up and that want to provide information to their constituents. We have activities provided by the Citrus Heights Police Department. We have bounce houses and those types of things. So something to consider if we do want to replace, then we need to look at offering some of these elements. But also at the same time, Sunrise Recreation and Park District, they also have events within their own park that they can still cover some of those amenities as well. And so our current budget for Sunday Funday can adequately support, according to our analysis, 2 concert food truck events based upon the one that we had this last September. We would be looking at potentially one in August and one in September. And then we would select one of these likely in September to reserve space for limited booths. And again, this would also include for local election candidates to engage with the public, maybe have some local crafters or local businesses as well. So our 2026 planned events, we would have about 13. That would include our Spring Chip-In Day, our Tools of the Trade, our Big Day of Service, our 3 City Scoop events, our Stars and Stripes, our Citrus Nights, and I have an asterisk there as a tentative if council will support. We have our Fall Chip-In Day, we have our Trunk or Treat, State of the City, and closing with the tree lighting. So I'm here for any questions you may have or anything that you want me to cover.
Questions or comments? Right. Jane?
Don't forget Halloween Parade, because that should, I know the city's always been a sponsor of it, but because it comes so close to the Old Family Fun Day, the last year, it wasn't covered good by the Messenger or the Sentinel, but it was very well attended, and it had booths. All the crafter booths who normally would be at Fun Day were there. They had booths beyond the usual booth space, and then they had the car show and everything else. So that event is well attended by our city residents and goes right down through our district. So I hope we keep that one on the list. It's not something we actually have to put in staff time, but it's something we do support. So I want to make sure we pay attention to that guy.
Correct.
And then Gigi puts on our art events, we want to make sure you had your Art in City Hall event, if we have an opportunity to have art events, I want to be sure that we include those if they pop up through the Art Council.
So this was to cover mostly just the events that we put our efforts, our staff, that we have to budget for. Those are separate events.
Okay.
But I could add those also to our notable events. And to your point, we do support also the Citrus Heights Arts. We did have an event here in October. And the Citrus Heights Arts did limit the attendees and the invites to the artists' families.
But it's still a great event.
But potentially in the future, if she does, or if they do decide that they want to open that up to the public, we can advertise for that as well.
Well, they had the one scheduled, but it got rained out, the one at Rush Park, that got rained out.
Art Beat, yes.
Yeah, Art Beat. So I just want to make sure we don't forget some of the ones we may not be directly involved in.
We don't forget those. Our staff are on those as well.
Well, we don't want to schedule them for the same day either.
No.
Okay. That's my only comment. We don't want to forget anybody.
All right, Tim.
Thank you, Mayor. So you make a great case for retiring Sunday Funday. I did experience having my booth there and reaching out to I had booth there even when I wasn't running for reelection. I just like engaging with the community, but I found that probably about half of the people that I would engage with didn't live in our city. And that makes that event really costly. When you start looking at that particular, I think moving forward towards doing a couple of concert events for our residents it just makes more sense to me. But I would like a place to put a booth if I need to.
Put a what, a booth?
A booth, yes.
Thank
That's my
you.
comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelsey.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Councilmember Schaefer about retiring Sunday Fun Day and just maintaining the booth availability at the concert series. On the City Scoop series, I'm curious if we can move at least one of them indoors. Maybe they're like we had them at schools this summer. Maybe the school can open up their cafeteria for us so that people can actually come in to the AC or at least out, out of the sun. Because I think we did have to cancel one, but then also I think maybe people don't come out because it's so hot outside. I know I was suffering the last one. So I'd be curious about that. And then also maybe in lieu of the site or like the school site opening up their cafeteria for us, maybe instead we partner with one of the local ice cream shops and ask them to host it at their site, and or we give vouchers for ice cream for people to go and gather there.
I will provide this information to Director Huber, since it's her team that organizes this, and I believe we just started planning for the actual locations for 2026, so we will keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Great job. I love going to these events. It makes our city feel like a small town, and I love that. So thank you.
And we may do a tree event, right? Arbor Day event? We should do an Arbor Day event.
We can look at introducing one of those, maybe
We're Tree
incorporating
City.
it
We're Tree City
into
now.
one of
We
our
passed
chip-ins.
it tonight.
Yeah, the Chip-In Day, we've planted a tree in different years to celebrate that, so that's kind of a nice venue for that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is city manager updates.
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor Lopez Taft, Vice Mayor Middleton, members of the council. I do have a few updates, but I want to start off by recognizing, we're coming to the end of a year here, and it's been a good year. A lot to celebrate, and I want to thank Mayor Karpinski-Costa and Vice Mayor Lopez Taft for your leadership over the course of the last year, and then transitioning into the new year now with our newly seated mayor and vice mayor and council members. We'll have more to come in 2026, but definitely reflecting on 2025 and thinking about the year in review, the things that were discussed at the city's stats. We're continuing to go and become more of a safer city. Every time we look at the numbers, we're becoming safer. Our roads are getting better. We're becoming more vibrant, just talking about the events here. So a lot to celebrate, and This is our last meeting of the year, so I really want to thank our staff for all their efforts in making that happen. I want to thank the council for your leadership in ensuring this is a vibrant city, and also our partners at Sac Metro Fire who have started attending these meetings this year. Also appreciate your engagement with the city of Citrus Heights and keeping the community safe as well. So just across the board, a lot to be grateful for. I do have a couple of slides here. Hey, we're in the holiday spirit. Best lights in Citrus Heights. So on our webpage, you can vote. There's still time. Voting's open December 9th through the 16th. There's a number of very well-decorated houses that are listed there. Their addresses are there as well if you want to go see them in person as you're making your comparisons. But it's an opportunity to engage in some community spirit and encourage those to put hours and hours into decorating and keep it up for the following years. And if you missed it this year and you want to participate next year, we'll certainly do the nomination period again next year, but that's where you can find links to it. And then, as I mentioned, this is the last meeting of the year. December 24th would be when our next meeting falls. So that's Christmas Eve, so we will not be holding the meeting. The next meeting will be in the new year of 2026 on January 14th. So with that, I wish the council and the community happy holidays, and we'll look forward to all the promise of a new year.
Thank you so much, Ash. And, I know we all very much appreciate you and our staff very much. This particular city would not be what it was without your leadership and the staff that you manage. So what a great job, everyone. It's a great way to end the year with lots of highs and a great review of all of our events that keep Citrus Heights thriving. Any items requested by council members or future agenda items? Yes.
One, I found the number. SB 827 requires officials already elected mandatory training starting January 1, every 2 hours of fiscal and financial training every 2 years. And if you assume office during 2026, you have 6 months to complete it. So at some point, we're probably going to have to come back with some plans for us to have Susan tell us the what-fors. So SB 827, and I think some unelected department heads may be subject to this. So can you look into that?
Yes, certainly. We'll provide a department report on that and make sure everyone's informed on those requirements.
Okay, and I also want to remind the public that as New Year's resolutions come forth, we do have on our city website the Volunteer Hub, where you can find all kinds of things you can sign up to volunteer for and to get involved in your neighborhood associations, which are, in the wintertime, we kind of don't do as much recruiting because of the holidays, but start in January, we'd love to see new faces at our monthly meetings. You can check the city website for all the neighborhoods, the one you live in, and whatever neighborhood you live in. And also want to remind people that January 10th is our last microchipping event. I think it's in front of Costco or Walmart. Was it Costco or Walmart? Do we know? Chief, do we hear?
It's near Costco.
Costco.
It's in
that parking lot, because, it was rain or shine, we'll be there. Okay.
All right. Any other items requested?
Mayor, can I make a statement?
Yes.
I noticed that looks like we might have some high school students in the audience.
We do.
No? You're here for a government class, maybe? Why don't you come up and introduce yourself?
Yeah, and we want to make sure you have the
You get a
picture
picture with all of
evidence
us,
that
yeah.
you came and did your duty. Absolutely. Come
Come
on
on.
up, introduce yourself at the microphone, please, and just tell us your name, your grade level, and your school.
Is this thing on? Oh. Hello, my name is Tyler Lamons. I'm a senior at Bella Vista.
Welcome, Tyler.
Hello.
Great.
And you have some friends behind you.
Thanks for staying to the end.
Yes, wonderful job.
My name is Faith, and I'm a senior at Bella Vista as well.
Welcome,
Awesome.
Faith.
Hi, my name is Austin, and I'm also a senior at Bella Vista.
Good
All
for you.
right, welcome, Austin.
Can we stand for a picture for you?
Let's do one more comment, and then we'll stand for pictures. Give us 2 minutes to do this. All right, council member, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. What a sweet idea for the photo, too. In the spirit of the new year, I thought, why not talk about renaming Sayonara next year? So that's
what?
I'd- Renaming Sayonara.
That sounds like a fun project.
All right. I think the people that move in ought to name it.
Well,
It's got to be a process.
it sounds like we've got two members of council would like to bring that back, and we'll talk about some options and some process about how that could be considered. So we'll do
All
that in the
right,
new year.
that's a good idea. Let's adjourn officially, and we'll take our picture. Thank you, everyone.